It's chilly this morning.
I stopped at the post office.
And I'm going to be heading out, but I figured I'd bring you guys along with me. We'll see.
A little train station thingamabigger is like gray. It's on the left-hand side. And it's for lease, I think. Yep, this space for lease. Oh, I'm not going to Virginia today, JS. I'm heading to Chisholm. So I won't see it. Almost guaranteed. This is Howard Street in Hibbing. It's like our main street, I guess. Yeah, I'd be willing to bet that Virginia looks about the same. They're snow covered, but like even my avenue that goes by me is plowed, so they have been plowed, which helps. If they weren't plowed, I would be a little more nervous about traveling further. But so far, they're not too bad. You can see the salt splashing. Yeah, they're definitely not solid ice, that's for sure. left early this morning, leaving myself extra time thinking that the roads were going to be slippery, but they actually don't look too horrible. Just a few snowflakes that are flying, but nothing crazy. They don't have the bridge lit up, which they usually do. If it's really slippery, it'll say caution, slippery ahead or something, or the bridge is slippery. I'm not going to push it, but just an observation. Mine overlook is just coming up that direction. I guess it's more that direction. I could show you guys the mine pit that's coming up on this side. You have to like turn your head sideways to be able to see it, and you can't park here. So, but it's basically a big mine pit that has water in it. It's really pretty. This way. It's in the wintertime, so it's a lot bumpier. This is the monster town of Chisholm. I think the population's about 4,000. Oh, I need. It's right the first time. There's no lawn. Hibbing does that. When we get a snow that's anything significant, they pile it all up in the middle of the road, and they call that a windrow. And then they grab I don't even know how to explain it, an industrial grade, like massive snow blower, and they snow blow up the pile of snow that they put in the middle, and they put it into dump trucks, and then they haul it up north town and dump it, and then come back and they make trips. That way there's not snowbanks when you're trying to get around in town. But for a while there, while they have the windrows, you can't see over them, so you can't see if there's traffic coming at you, or if you turn off, it can be kind of sketchy. But that's the system that they used. Huh. Maybe sitting at a stop sign, sitting on her phone. I can get in there. I just don't know if I'm going to get out. there's quite a few people on the lake this morning.
Let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna disconnect this because that's not gonna work. That is on the lake. That would be really cool to see the mine quarries from the rig. But yeah, it's kind of gray and kind of snowy. Oh, try to get around the. There's the fountain. Do you walk his dog? I'm gonna stick this back in my clip. Hi, Tuck. Yeah, we're in northeastern Minnesota, so we're used to getting snow. I'm sitting at the lake, looking at all the people on the in their ice houses. We're used to it here, so we see quite a bit of snow, but there's a lot of people that I'm learning that don't get a lot of snow or don't see a lot of snow. We're actually sitting in front of a lake, and there's actually like ice houses and vehicles sitting on the ice. There's people that have never seen the ocean, you've never seen a mountain. That's probably a pretty good perspective. I like the lake, it's peaceful. My car's running and the vibration of the motor is like shaking my camera. There we go. hear you. There's a lot of people that drive snowmobiles out on the ice regularly. People in their pickup trucks, people in their SUVs, people in their cars. Yeah, there's actually see if I can show you that next to the right there. This is such a bad angle, but right there, there's a spot that people can drive their cars in. There, well, I wouldn't say that it's unfounded because a lot of years, especially when it's early, people go out on foot, especially like Upper Red Lake. If you look at Minnesota, up kind of on the central western side, there's two really big lakes. I think it is a boat ramp in the summer. But there's two really big lakes. You can see them on the map if you look at Minnesota. But we go to Upper Red Lake, and it's a really shallow lake. I think the deepest spots are like 12 feet. It's really shallow and really big, and people go out on the lake, and the ice ends up breaking off. So then they're floating on these big pieces of ice, and they get trapped. I've heard of people falling through the ice with their vehicles. So I'm not one that likes to be on the ice a whole lot. This summer there was like a I want to say like a cat, but it was like a piece of construction equipment that had fallen through the ice, and it was 80 feet deep, I think. And so these people hired a company to come out and scuba dive it to be able to hook up and pull it out of the lake. And somebody ended up drowning trying to get this piece of equipment out of the water. So it's not an unfounded fear. It definitely happens. Morning. I just drove into Chisholm, and now I'm sitting by the lake, just kind of chilling out before I go to work. We were just talking about falling through the ice with a vehicle or something heavy. According to my car, it's 15 degrees. You have quarries there. They fill with groundwater immediately upon digging. Don't disappear. There's been a few operators lost and their machines fell in. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. I suppose once they hit a spring or the natural water table thing, water fills in quick. Rebecca, we're used to it. We live in Minnesota, but I know that there's a lot of people that don't see it a whole lot or don't experience snow a whole lot. So I'm just kind of hanging out and sharing. We didn't get a lot. I think we probably got 2 inches of snow last night. But everything's plowed this morning. The salt trucks have been out, so the roads aren't bad. And I'm not sitting on the lake. I'm sitting on the pavement. There's actually dividers here. Oh. Oh, dang it. Back up. There's dividers. So I am not on the lake. Try to get that to stay. It's kind of gray, kind of snowy, but it's pretty. I guess I should have said I wouldn't be out on the lake at all, sitting on the bank. It's fun of me to put. Oh, my check disappeared. Sitting out on the bank is fine with me. Put out on that, but out on the ice, no way. Yeah, I get it. I think I would probably walk out there just to say I did, but I'm a Florida man, so LOL. I think there's between 12 and 15 inches of ice. Last time I had seen somebody say something about it. So it's not like they're driving on, 6 inches of ice or anything. There's definitely significant ice out there. Thing is that you'd be afraid if you slipped, you might break more bones. My chat keeps disappearing. Because you're in your 60s and not a good idea. Yeah, probably not. You've only seen snowflakes twice in person. Wow. Yeah, towards the end of the winter, we get kind of tired of seeing snowflakes. barking dogs. This is Chisholm, Minnesota. I live in Hibbing, Minnesota, so I'm about 90 minutes northwest of Duluth. I'm up on the Iron Range. Okay, let's see. So you saw Texas, or you saw snow once in Texas. You woke up to snow one morning while visiting your family, and then working in North Carolina in 1997, you saw snow. I wish I could only count it on one hand. Just outside of Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I actually know people that are from there, and they complain about the cold all the time because they're used to hot and humid. I don't like hot and humid. I don't like it when it's bitterly cold either, but given the choice, I think I'd rather deal with the cold than the hot and humid. Yeah, Florida doesn't see snow very often. You don't know anything else. You're trying to move upstate, which can get much colder. You'll have to adapt. Yeah, it's definitely you get used to it, but it takes some time. I know if I went to Florida right now, I'd probably be in shorts and a t-shirt, and everybody down there would probably be um, putting layers on, and they'd look at me like I was crazy. But when you're used to being where it's cold, it's a change for sure. And Rebecca's in Missouri since 1983. So that's what, 40, 41, almost 42 years. The flag that's flying across the lake, this is actually the Freedom Bridge. So normally, like there's flagpoles that run all the way down this like street here. And on one side of the road, they have all of the country's flags. Like they have England, they have Canada, they have like the different countries. And on the other side of the road, they have all the states' flags. So they have like Minnesota and Missouri, and so they have all of them. So it's really cool to see all the flags flying. But right now, they only have two. I don't know if they're down because it's wintertime or if they're changing things. I'm not really sure. I am going to go ahead and set an alarm on my watch so that it can let me know when it is time for me to get moving. I don't really particularly want to be late for work. I have about 10 minutes. Yeah, it's definitely quiet when it snows. And it's pretty until the plow trucks come out with the salt and everything kind of turns a yucky brown. But the structures on the ice, some of them are like this blue trailer right here is on wheels. So somebody took it and hauled it to the truck and pulled it on there. The little thing behind this white vehicle out there is a tent. So they literally just like set it up like a camping tent. They don't have to haul it and they can take it out with them when they go. And then that red thing back there is also like a tent that you set up. It's got like a plastic base like a sled would be, and then the tent comes up so like they're not actually sitting on the ice. You would think so, that someone drove out there and hooked them and left them out there. They do, yep. They have a certain day that they have to be off the lake by. But people will park their stuff out on the lake and just leave it for the winter. They lock it up and come back and go fishing. And then when they leave everything and they'll come back for it in the spring before it starts thawing. Over, let's see if I can turn over in that corner of the lake, kind of over, let's see, my finger, I gotta find you. So over here, they put a like a massive bobber on the lake, and they chain it and they tie it to shore. And they have a contest every year that whoever guesses the closest date and time that the bobber falls wins a raffle or a drawing or something. It can get pretty interesting. Some days it's really early, and some years it's really late. I don't know if I'd want to wager guess, but they don't have it out there yet. You've seen a video of a fishing cabin that was on pilings. People used to fish and ice fish. I don't recall where it was. A fishing cabin that was on pilings. I don't know. I know in Waskish, which is Upper Red Lake, the big lakes that are in Minnesota that are where we often spend time in summer, has a double-decker ice house. So they can, I think, sleep up to 12 people at a time. And they can go and spend the night in the ice house. You have seen some that they push out there on skids as ice houses so they stay warm. Yeah. Yeah. And like a lot of people use like propane heaters to stay warm while they're ice fishing. So they're not sitting out in the cold. I just don't have I don't have the right equipment to go ice fishing, and I don't have a drill, so I can't get through the ice. And that's okay. I can watch from a distance. Good morning, Elisa. I'm just hanging out by the lake for a few minutes before I go to work. I thought the roads were going to be a lot slipperier and snow covered, but they're not. They're clear. So I got here early. So we're hanging out watching people ice fish. I have about 5 minutes before I gotta get moving, but That's all right. Snowflakes are flying. There's a few people out and about, but ice fishing, yes, there's people like this white car or SUV thing that's sitting on the lake with a fish house behind it. There's a red one to the right. There's actually a few more out there as well. But that's what those are for, is for ice fishing. I'm not. I'm sitting in my car. On pavement. I am not on the ice. Yeah, we were just talking about the snow. Tuck has never seen, well, he's seen snow twice in his life. So we're just kind of enjoying the snow this morning. I've actually never ice fished on this lake before. I have a couple times off the docks in the summertime, but I've been spear fishing once. My grandpa took me when I was little, and that was a completely different animal, but it was fun. I'm gonna disconnect this again so I can. They have the Chisholm Veterans Memorial Fountain, which during the summertime they have lit up and stuff. It's really pretty. And that is, let's see, kind of in amongst the trees. You're here just busy. That's all right. I'm going to be hopping off anyway here shortly because I got to go to work. But I'm just kind of wasting a little bit of time before I go because I was expecting the roads to be a lot worse than what they are. There's a nursing home up there on the hill. And there's actually quite a few houses around the lake, and there's apartment buildings across the lake. Actually, quite a few of them. But our Freedom Bridge only has 2 flags flying on it right now. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to head off and head to work. Thank you for coming and spending a little bit of time with me this morning and enjoying the snow from the warm. Have a good day, guys.